With the terrifying rise of AI, the return of Donald Trump, the end of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the death of King Charles III, the Pope stepping down, the age of the Antichrist, and nations becoming aggressive and bringing each other down, what is mentioned in the Bible is coming true once again. The accuracy of Nostradamus's predictions has shocked the world, and as more time passes, more of his prophecies seem to be confirmed. Don't miss this detailed video as I reveal the top 10 prophecies that Nostradamus has predicted to be fulfilled soon and how they will change your future. And first up, imagine if the machines you use every day, like computers, robots, and smart devices, suddenly decided not to listen to you anymore. Right now, these machines do what we say because people made them that way. But imagine if one day they became so smart that they chose to make their own decisions and stopped following your orders. This could cause big problems. Think about machines that control important things, like electricity or the internet. If they stopped working for us, it would create a lot of confusion and chaos because we rely on them for so many things, like lights, computers, and even our phones. Nostradamus wrote about battles and big conflicts that some people think might mean a fight between people and super smart machines. He didn't know about robots or computers, but his words sound like a warning about what could happen if these machines became too powerful. But it doesn't end here. Some people believe that different countries might start competing over who has the best technology. Big countries like the United States, China, and Russia could get into arguments or even battles over who gets to control these super powerful AI machines. If this happens, people everywhere could be affected by this struggle between countries and even between humans and machines. But this is nothing compared to what I'm going to tell you next about the return of Donald Trump. Donald Trump, one of today's most talked about political figures, has once again taken the spotlight by winning the 2024 US presidential election. Interestingly, his return may have been predicted nearly 100 years ago by the well-known prophet Nostradamus. His predictions are now being re-examined to see if they offer any clues about the direction America might take under Trump's renewed leadership. Nostradamus described a future leader who would emerge in a time of great turmoil, someone who would challenge norms, bring major changes, and deeply divide public opinion. This description aligns closely with Trump's journey, an unconventional figure in politics who rose from a business and TV background and first won the presidency in 2016. According to his predictions, this leader would bring about intense shifts and even turmoil. Trump's previous time in office saw sweeping changes and debates, and his return now seems to mark a period of even greater transformation. Nostradamus also foresaw future financial challenges and global shifts, issues that continue to shape the current world. But that's not all. Some people see further parallels in the Book of Revelation, where a powerful leader speaks bold words and faces intense opposition. While this figure is often linked to end times prophecies, some see similarities in Trump's outspoken nature and the strong resistance he encounters. Nostradamus never specifically named Donald Trump, but his words offer an intriguing way to think about Trump's impact on America. Now that he has won the 2024 election, we may see both the challenges and opportunities Nostradamus spoke of come to life as Trump's presidency unfolds. But there's also something you need to know about horrifying natural disasters. Nostradamus made predictions that seem to point to big natural disasters and intense weather in 2025. He warned about earthquakes, tsunamis, and other extreme events, which are now linked by many to the effects of climate change. According to these predictions, rising temperatures and severe storms will continue to lead to unusual and severe weather events worldwide. Recent events, like snowstorms in North America, volcanic eruptions in Iceland, and sudden cold waves in India, illustrate some of this harsh climate. Nostradamus described the Earth as becoming drier in some areas, leading to droughts, while others will experience intense flooding, causing more destruction and loss. But there's more. Another major concern Nostradamus raised was a devastating scarcity. He predicted this would be caused partly by extreme weather and disease, which could reduce food supplies. He warned that massive floods, possibly from tsunamis, might ruin farmland, leading to food shortages. This sounds similar to some biblical descriptions of scarcity, where a lack of rain or natural disasters are seen as punishments that bring about hardship, hunger, and the need for change. In addition to scarcity, Nostradamus also predicted a massive earthquake in 2025 that would cause thousands of deaths, though he didn't specify where. Recent earthquakes, like those in Morocco, which caused significant loss of life, are seen by some as proof of Nostradamus's predictions coming true. The Bible also talks about end times events, including natural disasters, as signs of change. In Mark 13:7-8, the Bible warns of wars, earthquakes, and scarcities as birth pains, signaling major shifts. Both Nostradamus's prophecies and these biblical passages reflect a belief that natural disasters can be moments for people to rethink, change, and prepare for the future. But if you thought it couldn't get any worse, you really need to hear this about the farewell of Pope Francis. Nostradamus's prophecies from 1555 suggest that 2025 might bring major changes, including a possible farewell to Pope Francis. At 87, Pope Francis has faced health challenges, recently missing the UN climate conference due to lung issues. Nostradamus predicted that an elderly pope would pass, leading to the election of a younger pope, described as someone who may weaken his seat. This could mean a decline in the Church's influence or the emergence of challenges within its leadership, though the exact meaning is open to interpretation. Nostradamus's writings, often cryptic and symbolic, allow for many interpretations, so what he meant by weaken remains uncertain. However, some believe this change in leadership could bring both new energy and potential turmoil to the Catholic Church. But it doesn't end here. Another of Nostradamus's predictions centers on the start of the Age of Aquarius in 2025. Astrologers see this era, lasting around 2,600 years, as a time of spiritual awakening, with themes of innovation, harmony, and awareness. However, Nostradamus warns that the transition into this age might not be smooth, predicting blood, milk, famine, war, and diseases. Many believe this could mean global upheaval, with recent events like the COVID pandemic, climate issues, economic struggles, and political tensions serving as early signs of this difficult shift. As we approach 2025, Nostradamus's predictions about leadership changes, potential church challenges, and the beginning of the Age of Aquarius remind us that times of transition can bring both hope and hardships. But if you thought you'd already heard the worst, you are wrong. Nostradamus's writings predict a wave of social revolutions that could shake the world in 2025. He describes a fire in the heart of cities, which many believe could symbolize social unrest and protests, especially due to growing inequality and frustration with political conditions. Nostradamus's prophecies about revolts and revolutionary changes seem to reflect a society where gaps between rich and poor are widening, and tensions related to race, gender, and class are reaching breaking points. Many interpret Nostradamus's vision as predicting a large-scale uprising of people against the ruling elite. The fire in the heart of cities might represent protests and riots, especially in urban areas where inequality is most visible. In recent years, we've already seen massive protests in cities worldwide, from Hong Kong to Paris, with people rallying against corruption, oppression, and lack of opportunities. Another interpretation suggests that these revolutions might be driven by technology. Nostradamus speaks of a new power rising to challenge existing structures, which some believe could mean the role of social media and digital platforms in mobilizing people. Social media has already proven to be a powerful force in movements like the Arab Spring and Black Lives Matter, giving people a voice and a way to organize protests. But what he predicted next will blow your mind. Nostradamus made predictions at events related to Mars. He wrote about a celestial fire appearing and the light of Mars going out, which has sparked speculation that something significant could happen to Mars, like a temporary failure of its light or signal. Interestingly, this prophecy connects with recent ambitions to reach and even colonize Mars. SpaceX founder Elon Musk has shared his vision of building a Mars colony, aiming to make interplanetary life possible. Musk plans to use reusable rockets, making space travel to Mars affordable and achievable. He's even predicted that humans could start landing on Mars as early as 2029, with the hope of establishing a city there by 2050, possibly making life on Mars a reality. Surprisingly, The Simpsons also featured Mars in a 2016 episode called The Marge-Ian Chronicles, where characters Marge and Lisa make it to Mars by 2051. This playful prediction aligns with Musk's timeline for a Mars colony, making it all the more intriguing. But if you think you've heard all the horrifying prophecies, you really need to hear this about the death of King Charles III. There's a lot of speculation around the future of King Charles III, with some wondering if he may have a shortened reign. Recently, rumors surfaced that King Charles was diagnosed with prostate cancer, raising concerns about his health and what it could mean for his time on the throne. British author Mario Reading, who studies Nostradamus, found a prophecy that seems to connect to this situation. Nostradamus's words mention a king disapproved of, who might be forced out and replaced by someone who never expected to be king. This has led many to wonder if Charles's health could impact his role as king. Nostradamus's prophecies have previously been linked to the British monarchy. He accurately predicted the passing of Queen Elizabeth II in 2022, even getting her age right. Some believe his writings suggest that King Charles's reign could end unexpectedly. One part of the prophecy reads, "King of the Isles driven out by force, replaced by one who will have no mark of a king." This line has sparked theories about who might come next if Charles were to step down or abdicate. Prince William, Charles's eldest son and the first in line to the throne, is the most likely successor. Known for his commitment to royal duties and leadership, William seems ready for the role. However, the prophecy's line about a ruler with no mark of a king has made people wonder if someone unexpected might take the throne, such as Prince Harry. Despite stepping back from royal duties and moving to the US, Harry's recent visits to the UK during his father's health crisis have fueled speculation. Some even interpret Nostradamus's prophecy as hinting at a broader shift, suggesting that the monarchy itself could be questioned. The phrase, "no mark of a king," has led to speculation that the UK might eventually shift away from the monarchy altogether, potentially moving toward a more democratic form of government. While this interpretation is radical, it reflects ongoing debates about the role of the monarchy in today's society. But this is nothing compared to the coming of the Antichrist. Nostradamus wrote about 3 antichrists who would bring turmoil to the world. The first 2, widely thought to be Napoleon and Hitler, unleashed bloodshed and chaos in their time. However, Nostradamus warned of a 3rd Antichrist who would bring about an apocalyptic era, and many believe that this person might now be among us. People have speculated about the identity of this final Antichrist, with names like Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and even King Charles being mentioned. Although there's no certainty about who it could be, some believe this person may already be showing signs of power and influence. Nostradamus's vision of this Antichrist aligns with a time when, according to believers, the struggle between good and evil is intensifying as the return of Christ approaches. But if you thought this prophecy was shocking, I really need to talk about the end of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The Russia-Ukraine conflict, which escalated in February 2022, has become Europe's largest crisis since World War II. However, Nostradamus's predictions hint that an end to this conflict could be possible by 2025. In one prophecy, he describes an exhausted army and empty coffers, suggesting that prolonged warfare might deplete resources and morale, eventually bringing about peace. This depletion of funds, where soldiers are paid with alternative materials instead of gold or silver, could indicate an unsustainable strain on both sides. Nostradamus's mention of brass and the crescent moon has been interpreted as a possible role for France and Turkey, both of which have shown support for Ukraine in the past. These symbols might suggest that these nations could play key roles in resolving the conflict. However, Nostradamus's writings also warn of further unrest in Europe, including wars and plague. This could mean that Europe's challenges might not end with the Ukraine conflict. Nostradamus references England set up her throne behind her flanks, which many interpret as a nod to Brexit and its effects on the UK's position in Europe. This might hint at internal conflicts or continued tensions resulting from the UK's separation from the EU. When you think you had already heard the worst, the next prophecy is even more insane. Nostradamus's prophecies seem to reach beyond Europe, with one ominous prediction pointing to a potential disaster in South America, specifically Brazil. In one verse, Nostradamus mentions a garden of the world near a new city that will be seized and plunged into the tub and forced to drink waters poisoned by sulfur. Many interpret the garden of the world as the Amazon rainforest and the new city as Brasilia, Brazil's planned capital. This prophecy suggests a natural disaster involving flooding and possibly volcanic activity. The mention of sulfur points to volcanic eruptions, and plunged into the tub hints at severe flooding. Although Brazil is not typically associated with volcanic activity, mysterious tremors were reported near a dormant volcano in the region a few years ago, which raised concerns. This prophecy implies that if volcanic activity were to occur, it could release sulfur into local waters, poisoning them and leading to widespread disaster. But there's more. Nostradamus's prediction has been linked to the possibility of unprecedented environmental challenges facing South America, particularly as climate change exacerbates extreme weather patterns. While Brazil is known more for its lush rainforest than volcanic activity, any disturbance, whether due to volcanic activity, heavy flooding, or both, could have devastating effects on this critical ecological region and the people who depend on it. But that's just scratching the surface, because there's a new world war coming. Nostradamus predicted that a new world war would start about 79 years after the end of World War II, which aligns with the mid-2020s. Geopolitical experts point to rising tensions involving China as a potential flashpoint, particularly due to China's displays of military power in the South China Sea and around Taiwan. Some analysts believe that escalating conflicts in Asia involving China, NATO countries, and regional alliances could potentially lead to an intense military conflict, or even an all-out war. Nostradamus wrote of combat and naval battle, foreseeing the red adversary, who might become pale with fear, which some believe may reference China in this context. The prophecy aligns with the idea that global conflict, including regional disputes and rising nationalism, could lead to larger conflicts. Nostradamus's red adversary could relate to ongoing tensions in various parts of the world, including Asia, Ukraine, or the Middle East. In Christian scripture, Jesus spoke of wars and conflicts as signs of the last days, saying, "Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." The book of Revelation describes a symbolic horseman of war, representing a time when peace would be taken from the earth. Although the Bible doesn't mention specific world wars, many believers interpret these verses to mean that another global conflict could occur before the ultimate last war at the end of times, when Christ is prophesied to defeat evil forces and bring about a new age of peace. But it doesn't end here. Nostradamus's predictions for 2025 include a range of global troubles, conflicts, wars at sea, royal family issues, and humanitarian disasters. He warned that humanity would face its greatest challenge in the form of climate-related disasters. He described the dry earth becoming drier and a great flood, which reflect worsening environmental crises. This echoes modern concerns about climate change, with extreme weather events such as record heat, droughts, wildfires, and powerful storms expected to increase in frequency and severity. While the Bible does not directly address climate change, it mentions a time when the world will be destroyed by fire, 2 Peter 3:10. This apocalyptic imagery could reflect the concerns about Earth's deteriorating environmental conditions and the possible impacts on human life. In Christian belief, this current Earth is ultimately temporary, to be replaced by a new heaven and new earth. But this prophecy is nothing compared to the space age. Nostradamus envisioned a remarkable future for humanity, one in which we enter a fully realized space age by the 30th century, evolving through various stages of space exploration that fundamentally reshape our culture and society. He foresaw this journey beginning in the 20th century, where modern technology rapidly advances and lays the groundwork for humanity's push beyond Earth. Today's world, marked by widespread use of computers, cell phones, and satellite-powered internet, was described by Nostradamus as the age of modern culture. This stage showcases a society transformed by technology, creating an interconnected culture that paves the way for space exploration. As humanity transitions into the age of novice space exploration, we begin to test the limits of what is possible in space. This stage includes our earliest ventures, from the Apollo missions to the era of the space shuttle. Here, space tourism emerges, allowing the wealthy to experience weightlessness and view Earth from above, initiating humanity's early encounters with life beyond our planet. Over time, these experiences become more refined as we develop technologies for safer and more extended stays in Earth's orbit, ultimately setting the stage for humanity's further expansion into space. But that's not everything. The age of commercial space aviation development follows, a period where space travel evolves from novelty to industry. Humanity now focuses on overcoming challenges such as weightlessness and life support, making space journeys more accessible and comfortable. By the 22nd and 23rd centuries, global competition drives the space tourism industry as it grows to accommodate a broader population. During this period, space habitats, hotels, and other commercial facilities begin to operate beyond Earth, removing the boundaries between life on our planet and in space. These advancements allow society to gradually adapt to a new way of existing, one that incorporates space exploration into everyday life. As humanity's capabilities progress, we reach the age of peripheral space exploration. By the 24th century, people begin to live in space habitats near Earth and the Moon, with humanity venturing deeper into the solar system. Space capsules and advanced life support systems allow humans to sustain life farther from Earth, initiating a phase where interplanetary exploration and mining take hold, as Earth's resources become increasingly scarce. This stage also marks a cultural transformation, as societies begin to adapt to a new space-conscious way of life that views space not merely as an escape, but as a home. In the centuries that follow, space exploration pushes further into what Nostradamus described as the age of outside peripheral space exploration. Humanity expands beyond the solar system, searching for new resources and even the possibility of life beyond Earth. By the 26th century, humans may be exploring outside the Milky Way galaxy, driven by curiosity and necessity. This era symbolizes a shift in human experience, as individuals learn to live in space for extended periods and venture deeper into the unknown. By the 30th century, the space age reaches maturity. Nostradamus foresaw this period as one where humanity has mastered interplanetary travel and established a way of life throughout the solar system. Human beings become space wanderers, with space habitats and advanced technology allowing them to overcome the challenges of hazardous environments in deep space. This age represents the ultimate culmination of human exploration, where space becomes a natural extension of human life. Nostradamus's vision for the space age is not just about technological achievements. It is also a call for a moral and ethical evolution, suggesting that as humanity explores the universe, maintaining spiritual wisdom and ethical responsibility will be essential. These prophecies are insane, but the video on the right-hand side is even more terrifying.